Welcome to the penultimate episode of my team, and today it is going to be the Brazilian Grand Prix, where we've gone well in the previous only episode at Brazil, where we were battling Alex Albon, Pierre Gasly and Daniel Kvyat. Hopefully we can be battling the likes of Albon once again, although Albon was down in 10th when we were battling, so maybe we hope to battle his teammate, but you never know. We'll just have to wait and get into the Grand Prix. Anyway, coming off the back of a amazing race victory, if you haven't seen it, what are you doing? Go subscribe so you know what I'm talking about, and go check the episode out, Mexico. Anyway, doing some team activities, completing the 9 full days, 2 3-day activities, a 2-day and a 1-dayer, because that equals 9, by the way. I've really got bad memory of what I do. I really need to sort how I do it. It'll be better for next game. Unfortunately, then we got a failure on the R&D, so we've had to reapply that. And seeing as we've got a new Grand Prix coming up, we need to change our ender components so that we can maximise the Grand Prix once again. I don't want to repeat myself a lot, but I am, because people may forget, and people may just skip this part anyway, so yeah, I've got to repeat it anyway. So if you do like me reminding you, please make sure to like the video. Little grey button down below if you haven't liked it yet. Anyway, I think one of our components for the ICE is unavailable to be used ever again, so that's fun. And one of the activities, fortunately, DRS activation is a failure once again, so we're going to have to reapply that. But unfortunately, we're 14 resource points behind, and yeah, I'm looking at reapplying some of the upgrades that may not be able to come back, and but no, there's no point. Just wait till the weekly resources to reapply the upgrade that failed. And there we go, 0% failure coming for Abu Dhabi with the 2 back straights. Could be really vital. And yeah, it just wants to tell me that it won't be applied when regulation changes happen if we don't adapt it. And just checking the morale of our apartments. Because of the power focus, our Sashi and durability have gone down a little bit on morale, but it's fine. We'll get a good result and the morale will be boosted. And the only way we're going to get a good result, like the previous 4 of 5 Grand Prix, is if we go to practice. And yeah, it seems like we are not going to practice, so we're not going to get a good result. Let's just go to practice anyway. Hey, we're going to get a good result. Fun. Every race I've done at Brazil, practice has always been sunny. I mean, bear in mind it's only 2 practices, but it's always been sunny. Anyway, completing your low fuel team objective, purple track acclimatization, cleaning up, and yeah, looking good so far. Engineer us on our qualifying pace program as we start it. And I've got a frozen screen. Oh god. Let me just... Wait. Yeah, unfortunately I can't fix it in a moment. It's just stopped, and I've checked recording file. It's working, but no, it's working again. I don't know why it's froze. It didn't want me to do the next clip. Basically the other clip was DRS, drag reduction stuff because of the upgrade that we got. Anyway, race strategy then. Cleared the first lap, 4th in the speed trap. I believe we also cleared the qualifying program. I can tell because of whole malarkey with the screen. I don't know why that is, I'm sorry about it. Come on, what do you think could have happened, and I will try to respond. Anyway, 3 laps complete, and straight on to ERS management. Fortunately, using the ERS all the way down the back straight is not working, so we're going to use it in the ERS zone. And as we come up to the line, it's only just going to be in the red, and so we're going to have to use the ERS from turn 3 to turn 4, and yeah, it's not ideal, especially for the Grand Prix weekend, I mean the race, and luckily we do it though, and yeah, it's still annoying though, so we're just going to have to use the ERS through that straight in the Grand Prix if we would like to be competitive with our ERS store. Anyway,
let's see our top 3.
P1 in practice, Sudo sponsor coming in quite nicely, and we're getting a 10-6 I think it was, I weren't looking, my bad. Wherever it was, it's here. Well, but my teammate 11-0, about a second off anyway. And yeah, I'm running out of patience with Jack, as you can see right here. 11,000 resource points for 1100 resource points for slow. Should be enough to get some adaptations to the aerodynamics, even though I said I weren't going to, but can I really upgrade anything else? I don't think so. So we might as well use the spare resource points to adapt the other parts, and also adapt our components to the most useful ones for us, and allowing us to get the best performance out of the car that we can to get the best result, which in this case is the far right column of all of them. So we can't get any majors on the power and sashi, and so we're just going to get a major on the drag reduction, and we're going to get a major on the rear downforce, I believe. No, drag reduction minor, because then it's like bookends of both points. Although I should have gone for the major because they're quite a lot to gain. But anyway, speaking of majors, major part of the weekend is qualifying, so let's go to qualifying and hopefully it's a good one. Let's go to qualifying and hope it's a good one. Well, luckily for us, it does look like qualifying is also going to be dry and sunny, so it's not going to be an awful Grand Prix weekend. Going into turn 1, easily doing 1 lap in qualifying 1 to get us through to qualifying 2, but my teammates probably had a little bit of a struggle. Able to find out in a minute, or less, 1.0 off the pace of Valtteri, and yeah, my teammates down in 20th, ahead of Haas and Williams, but behind another Williams and 2 Alphas and the other Haas, so yeah, not the best, but I do believe we are behind those cars, so that's actually not too bad. Q2 then on the mediums, can we get through on the mediums? P5 at the moment, but I believe I am the 5th runner to go, so it doesn't look too good, and P14 we were. Now we go across the line on the softs should be enough to get to P3. Yes, it is. P6. My favourite number until Latifi came in and took it, so I'm now on number 66. But you can't have a P66, so P6 is the best place, obviously. Because if you put P6 and P66, you get the devil. Anyway, able to get through with Alexander Albon. What a surprise! Down in 13th, behind the AlphaTauri pair, and ahead of the Racing Point pair. And yeah, P3. Then Max Verstappen setting off with a 7.9. Then Valtteri with a 7.6, Lewis with a 7.3, and we're going to come across the line to set a 8.2. I was going to say 8.3, but no, I am quicker than I believe to be myself. But coming across the line to start our final lap of qualifying, and we go into turn 1, braking about 50 meters, getting into the apex, no lockups whatsoever, all the way nicely down. Qualifying is now over, so this is our definite final lap. Only attempt, and we go into the second sector, braking at the curtain where the grass ends or starts. There's a little bit of pavement there. Going into the next corner, braking as we turn into the corner, braking when the only sponsor on the left is blue. Going through towards the Albon corner, braking out the trees, and then going into the corner, hitting the apex, not going too wide on entry. Going towards the final corner, then braking not on the grass, which will gain you time actually braking on the grass. As you can see, I was braking on the grass for the first lap, and I have now lost time. So yeah, I am gaining it now on acceleration, maybe because I'm taking the shortest route possible, which allows us to gain the most time possible, but it's only enough for P8, not enough for P6 like we did in Q2. So we're just going to have to hope for some grid penalties to boost us up a couple of positions, and then we should be with a good chance to get some solid points and close in on best of the rest in the championship. And wait a minute, Daniel Ricciardo's managed to get P2.
Be sure to join us then for what will no doubt be a
that is going to be interesting when Lewis Hamilton should be able to clinch the title in this race. So that would be fun for him.
Pretty happy with that.
Yeah, I am pretty happy with that actually.
That far up the grid.
And we can't be too disheartened because this is mega compared to where we should be, and mega compared to where Alpha were. And based on where they were, I think yeah, they should have been able to go higher, because I think they were 17th and 18th, or 16th, 17th. Yeah, 16th, 17th. No, 17th, 18th. So should have been able to go better. Speaking of going better, we've gone better on our acclaim to level 11 now, and almost level 14 for team acclaim. So that will be done fairly shortly. And straight into the race then, because I don't need to do anything before that.
Formula One returns to Sao Paulo once again with the stage set for what promises to be another classic Brazilian Grand Prix. Sebastian Vettel famously clinched his third championship here in 2012, and in 2016, Max Verstappen treated us to one of the finest wet weather drives of all time. It's an unusual anti-clockwise race here at Interlagos, where the Sao Paulo locals are packed into the grandstands at each of the 15 corners around this classic 2.7-mile circuit. Two very fast sections bookend the famous and highly technical Sector 2, where getting a good run out of Junsao into one of the two DRS zones will be the key to any overtaking prospects today. Now, Anthony Davidson, I wonder, Might we be in for some early pit stops today from the midfield teams, all trying to put some pressure on or disrupting things for the leaders up front?
If you're in the middle of the pack, you know, you got your own race to run. I don't think they're going to be thinking about causing trouble up front. However, closer to the head of the pack, don't be surprised to see some split strategies. If you're running second and third, for example, bringing one car in for an undercut while leaving the other one out there longer can put a lot of pressure on the leader and maybe force them into an error.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Lewis Hamilton lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Norris, Carlos Sainz, the engineer, Vettel, Ocon, Gasly, and Daniel Ricciardo. Albon, Verstappen, they've taken a grid penalty. Sergio Perez, and Stroll, Magnussen, Giovinazzi, Kimi Raikkonen, and George Russell. Aitken, Grosjean, Kvyat, and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
So, Daniel Ricciardo and Max Verstappen getting grid penalties has allowed us to go up positions into P6, a couple of positions to be exact, and change strategy, seeing if we can go longer on the softs and maybe if we can go mediums, and seeing like we can't at the moment, but we are stretching it out as much as possible, and it doesn't seem to be working. But so we're just going to go using soft and hard, and there seems to be okay percentage, say 66 and about 64%. So not too much, but not too little. And flicked personalized, and we could have gone mediums. But so we're on the softs is 74%, so we just got to make sure that's lower than 70 and not much more than 60, because otherwise the tyres will blow. So 77 and 74, 78, 71, 74, 74 should be alright, and reducing fuel load, and we're actually going to have excess fuel, so should be able to burn it. But let's get to the race then, and first of all we've got to do the formation lap. So away we go for formation lap, and making sure to put brake magic on to heat the fronts up, and make sure we are in prime optimal temperature range for the beginning of the Grand Prix, which is now. And yeah, brake magic is off. I don't leave it on. I don't do a Lewis. So yeah, getting ready for the Brazilian Grand Prix. Last time out in Mexico we were starting on pole,
the rest of the grid is
but this time we're starting P6, and it's on the same hand side of the grid, so maybe we can get a good result here as we get ready for the saving of the game. You get ready for the 5 lights to announce the beginning of the race, with 5 lights on, and they're now immediately out, so we've got a little bit of a poor start as our reactions are not as good as everyone else, but it's okay as we pull alongside Carlos Sainz into turn 1. A little bit of oversteer through turn 1 to exit, so we've had to back out a bit as now Sebastian Vettel's going down our outside towards turn 4, and now we're being boxed in by Ocon, so we're going to go round the outside of Sebastian Vettel, but we've gone on the grass, so it's made us lose a little bit of performance. As we go through the corner, we've lost 2 positions, one to Ocon and one to Albon. Maybe now we're going to lose a position to Pierre Gasly as we go into second sector. We nudge him wide, allowing Daniel Ricciardo to then get past him into P10, as Alexander Albon has made 4 positions on this opening lap so far, whereas us, we've gone down 3 positions, not 4, but it's still a little bit bad as we are all over the place on the circuit, and we are being massively pressured by Daniel Ricciardo as we go on to lap number 2. Lewis Hamilton setting a 1:13.8 as we go towards turn 1. We haven't extended the inside to Daniel Ricciardo. He's looks like he can go for the move, so we've left the door wide open for him in case he has, and we've already got a track limits warning going towards turn 4, and then with defending all the way to the outside, and Daniel Ricciardo doesn't look to be close enough yet. But as we go into sector 2, we've not got the best of runs. He's got a really good run. We've not defended, but he's gone around to the outside, backed off a little bit. He's gone to the inside now to the next corner. We've made contact. There's yellow flags. He's spun round. I think that's a racing incident. I don't know what he was doing, trying to make an overtake there. Going on board for him then. He backs off around the outside. We go wide into the next corner. It's later on in the corner. I thought it would have been at the apex. That's Daniel's fault, actually. He just went too far into the corner and made contact with us. DRS is now enabled as we push on towards Alexander Albon and Esteban Ocon. Another track limits warning, so we are so close to a penalty. Hopefully you don't get one, and we continue with our race. As the two ahead of us are continuing their race, and they're going side by side through turn 1. Not enough for anything, and Albon stays in P8 as we head on to lap 5. Going through lap 5 then through lap 6. Albon seems to be closer to Ocon this time round. Maybe he's going to make a move into turn 4. No, he's not. Maybe again on lap 7. Yes, he is. He's going into turn 1 then. Defending all the way to the inside is Esteban Ocon, but Albon still finds a way through, and it's ahead before turn 3. Turn 3 then, and we've got the overtake and Rich and DRS all the way to Max. We're going to go all the way down the inside of Esteban Ocon. We're at least a car length back, and we get ahead of him. Nicely done on Daniel Ricciardo's teammate. Luckily no contact, but he's going around the outside like Daniel did. But this time he doesn't back off and then try and go down the inside. In fact, he almost takes out Pierre Gasly, which would have been, I think, ironic, because he should learn from what his teammate did that he shouldn't have done that. Anyway, going on to lap 9 then, almost a quarter through the way of this race already. So this race is a little bit lackluster, but you know, Gasly's on the hards to spice it up a little bit. As Verstappen now gets into the top 10 after a dismal start, it seems, and a dismal penalty to a good qualifying. And speaking of dismal stuff, not good for Daniel Ricciardo is the yellow flags now in the final corner. Can't see who it is that pink dot? It's one of the racing points again. They both retired in Mexico, and now Sergio Perez is out for the second race running. Yeah, it's not good for him. And we've almost sped under the virtual safety car. We're almost going to do it again, almost, it seems, as the safety ends. Losing 4 attempts then, and maybe now Gasly is too close in our DRS range to not be able to make a move. But it doesn't seem so, so we are able to keep the position onto lap 13, quite close to our pit window range, I believe. I think probably just said it now and then, because I think it's lap 15. Going on to lap 14 then, as Lewis Hamilton and the others pit, including Carlos Sainz, because Norris is still out here, and so is Albon, but they all come in with longer Bottas and Leclerc. Gasly's still going on his hard, Jackie coming into the pits, but we're going to keep on going because our tyres are not yet at 60%, but as we go through the final corner, a little bit of a lock-up, and they're already on 60%, so we're going to come in with that. A little bit of a late call, but it's not the latest calls that I've seen in F1, so we're fine, and come into the pits for a fresh set of medium tyres that should be able to go to the end of the Grand Prix. Almost speeding under the pit lane 1 mile an hour and we would have been equal to the speed limit, so could have been very close. But on go our fresh sets and mediums, and through the pit lane exit we go.
Last stop, no more scheduled pit stops.
Where we're going to rejoin, behind Albon again, no real surprise. Grosjean coming into pits then, our defenseman from Mexico. No defense needed from him this time round. As we go on to lap 18, halfway through the Grand Prix, Lance Stroll is now in the pits for a fresh set of mediums, and hold on, Albon's on hards along with Vettel, so that's interesting. Kvyat then on hards, I believe, as he's going quite long into the Grand Prix. And yeah, guys, the amount of laps we've got to do on these new tyres is the amount of laps we've already done in this race. So I don't know what they're playing at, but you know, it's AI, and they're not as good as saving as me apparently. Lap 22 then, still Kvyat is not pitted, so these guys are still being held up. So we really need to make the most of Danny Kvyat as he now comes into the pits on lap 23, and going to our engine temp, and it's around 126, which is not good for engine power, so we're going to have to go into lean throughout the whole lap instead of rich, because otherwise our car is not going to be able to deal with it. And we're just going to see the improvement that it makes to our lap as we go back up into rich, and back outside. Going into turn 4, and then we're going green to the first sector, and it seems like we've been able to close in on Albon much more than normally, and I don't mean close in, but I mean like stay with him. So yeah, it seems to be quite nicely done, and we've got to make sure that we don't do a Lewis Hamilton and take him out of this very corner. I should have done it anyway to just fall a last. That would have been so funny. Looking at the wheel, we've only just gone back into the green on our Delta. Note back into the red. 22 thousandths off. 3 tenths behind Alex as we come out of the final corner. This is a good run on him now. Normally we've been about 6-7 tenths back, so we've not been able to make the move into turn 1. Going into turn 1, then we're a little bit far back, but we're setting a purple sector 1, pushing him all the way to the inside, trying to tighten up his line, and it's not been able to work as he's still there going through turn 3. Going towards turn 4, and then we've got overtake Rich and DRS putting the overtake on quite early as Danny Kvyat then smashes our lap record by not even a tenth, I'd say. 9.9, yeah, pretty much, not even a tenth. But been able to stay ahead of our one, but we've gone into the same corner as we did with Daniel Ricciardo, all making contact, almost spinning out Alex round, but I think we've more side by side parallel, so that we don't make contact and spin him round. But with 10 laps to go then, closing in on Sebastian Vettel as Pierre Gasly sets a 1.98, beating his teammates up by 1 second. Going into the final corner with 3 tenths behind Sebastian Vettel, just like we were Alex Albon, so there should be an easier overtake than Albon, because Sebastian Vettel won't have DRS of anyone, because cars don't exist. Going into turn 1, we're a lot closer, and we're able to get the move done much earlier, so we won't be battling like we were with Alex all the way down to turn 4. A little bit of a shame, because it would have been nice to battle him, but you know, we've been able to drop him quite quickly as we go on to lap 29. Just need to get out his DRS, and then we can relax a bit, as there's another yellow flag, this time for a white dot, one of the Williams. Who's it going to be this time? Is it the other Williams has just come past, so it seems to me that it is GR63, Mr. George Russell, friend of friend in P8. Yep, George Russell, virtual safety car. So fuel saving, and maybe this will allow us to break out of DRS as we will be closer in the second sector, so Sebastian will have more dirty air, and oh god, it's ending already, and maybe he'll be able to lose time. It seems like he's already lost time. He's 9 tenths back as we go into the rest of the race. George's car over there on the right hand side, and we've already broke out of DRS 1.3, and hold on, rewind a couple of minutes ago. That gap from me to Lando is now decreased to 2 seconds. It was like 3-4, and at this point I was thinking, I need a nickname. I'm catching up to last lap Lando, last lap B, not quite, yeah, nothing worked with W. So I thought of this very corner, maybe not this lap, but Bolt It Bobbi. I think it's amazing. So we got to use our new nickname to our advantage and bolt it, because the name is Bobbi. So going into turn 1, we're closing in, not quite saying purples, but it is enough to get into the DRS range of Lando Norris. We could actually get him on the final lap, but I think it's going to be earlier, you know. That's why I was thinking of Bolt It Bobbi, because maybe we could have done it on the last lap, but it seems like I'm going to bolt it earlier, and we are going to get the move done on Lando now. That Renault engine not as powerful as a Honda engine as we go towards turn 1. We're not close enough as we were to Sebastian and Alex, but so we're just going to have to wait it. Maybe get it in towards turn 4, next corner. And can we get power on nice and early? Yes, we can. 3 tenths is gaining downwards now toward our advantage. He's decided to go inside, exactly where we want him. Going right around the outside. Clean as light. He's made a little bit of contact with us. We've got no warning for it, so we're fine. And that is us up into P5. Closing in on his teammate then, once again, it was 4 seconds to him. You can go back. It is now 2 seconds to him.
0 seconds. They're on old hards. Their tyres are 20 laps old. The time last lap was a 1:10.1. We're gaining by around 2 tenths per lap.
Lap 35 then, I think he said we're closing in by 5 tenths lap. Not quite enough. But as we go onto the final lap, maybe, just maybe, we can do the impossible and catch up to him. No, we're not able to. Only attempt in our favour this lap, and our tyres are just going to 60%, so maybe the hards have became a favourable tyre. But P5 is really good, considering our terrible start, which dropped us to P9. So overall, a really good Grand Prix.
And so the celebrations begin, and well earned they are indeed. It may have looked simple at times, but as any racing driver will tell you, competing at this level, at the very top, is anything but simple. There's no catching them now then. We have a new World Drivers' Champion. That's a spectacular victory then, and with it, the championship is secure. It's been a magnificent season, and they thoroughly deserve the cheers of the crowd here today. Talk to me, Ant. What was it that set them apart from the competition today?
Well, time management probably played quite a large role in the outcome of this one. As ever, it's not just about speed, it's all about maintaining that speed consistently over a stint, over a race distance. So being able to keep up the lap times while still being smooth on the controls and gentle on the tyres, that's really where the race was won today.
Huh. I didn't realise it would skip the podium. Anyway, bright as hell on the background because of a glitch. We're in Brazil and Abu Dhabi.
After an
The
incredible day of
background
racing,
seems
who was
really
your
bright
driver of the day, Ant?
Well,
in
for me, it's got
highlights
to be Lewis
and
Hamilton.
replays,
Multiple world
and
champion may be the boring
the
choice
end
at this
screen
point,
to the
but
Grand
you
Prix.
can't argue that he's a driver deserving of his reputation.
1.1
It's another clear win for Mercedes as they
17
managed
the
to
gap at the
secure
end.
Constructors' title.
We could have
An
pushed a little bit
incredible
earlier,
performance
maybe
for
got
the
Lando
whole
into
team.
turn 1
Meanwhile,
and we
good
would have
work
been
from the
fine.
owner drivers team this weekend,
Got
who pushed
Alex into
themselves
turn
further
1 would
up
have
the
been
order.
fine, but
Well, Ant, an end
in
to another
hindsight,
fantastic weekend of
it don't
racing.
matter,
Thanks
as
to
we are
everyone
now
who joined
3
us,
points
and we'll
behind
see you for the
Carlos
next
for
one.
best of the rest. Ignore Charles Leclerc, he's in the Ferrari. But yeah, we are so close to best of the rest. We just need to beat Carlos by 3 points in the next race. We beat him by 3 points or more, and we're fine. That is really cool. But rivalry breakdown, pretty much beating Ricciardo now. Just need 2 more points to us. He needs 11. I don't see that happening. And yeah, team acclaim, and it looks like we're going to go up to level 14. Yes, we are. And the amount of money that we are going to get is at least 953,000. 50k of damage deductions, a little bit annoying. I don't know what damage it's talking about. 7.5 million in the bank now, but that is going to be all. Like if you've enjoyed, if you want to see the finale to this game, make sure to hit that red button and share with your friends because friends have interest. Comment your thoughts and opinions. Sorry about the screen freeze earlier in the video, but I've been Racengineer. Until you race left on and what your engine is going to fix. Goodbye. I've said it in one video. It don't matter. Goodbye.